I have a question that might make me sound like an incel, but I mean it sincerely and respectfully. How could we possibly know? I'm curious what you define as women showing interest in you. I've had a decent dating history, but it's not like these involved women professing their love for me at first sight and awe at my radiance. I'm not saying this in a negative way at all, I just want to better understand where you're coming from. What is it that you're expecting to happen? Is it that you're expressing your feelings and no women seem to ever reciprocate it? Or is that nobody is coming forward to you with romantic intent? Because the latter isn't really a common experience. All of my relationships have begun as friends, where playful interactions and gradual bonding lead to an eventual moment where I would ask them to spend time together. Extend that over a couple more instances, and that becomes a relationship. Ask. That's it. It sounds like you've got the social skills to not make an ass of yourself. Just ask someone you're interested in person on a date. If they say no, then that's fine. If they change their mind later, they at the very least know you're interested in trying. If their friendship with you is flimsy or superficial enough that it breaks from being asked, then it was very likely not going to be a good friendship in the first place. They are never going to say yes if you don't ask. I'm saying this as someone that's been chronically oblivious to every subtle hint of interest people have given me over the years. Just bite the bullet and take the hit to the ego. It has the added effect of making it easier to face that kind of rejection. Woman making the first step is still very seldom today. Maybe you were just too passive? I didn't read it all, but this is a conversation only someone who knows you well can help with. Generalizations about genders is what breeds incels. Don't go there. Imho valid question, just won't lead anywhere constructive in this forum. Imho. As a woman, I dislike having to explain why I might reject someone. My goal is simply to find compatibility, so why should I list your flaws? If I were to reject someone because I prefer chocolates over strawberries, the other person might pretend to like chocolates when they actually prefer strawberries. What if the issue goes beyond just preferences to deeper aspects of personality? Incompatibility is often complex and hard to put into words. If I'm not interested, it means I'm just not interested. Unless there are important issues that need to be pointed out or something that I might find unattractive can be changed, then it's worth the discussion. But most of the time, it's just simple as I don't like you. It sounds like you have a normal adult experience. If you'd had success on dating apps, but you haven't outside there, I theorize that it could be that the clear context of "we are here for a date" or "I am looking for a relationship" is helpful. In other words, in other contexts there may be a communication breakdown or a lack of clarity that you are expressing romantic or sexual interest and/or that you are seeking a date. This is just a theory though, like everyone says, need more info to be sure, and also your friends would be a good resource. This lack of clarity is something I struggle with myself. Looks like to me you've had a good bit of success with the opposite sex, but you haven't found someone you really click with and she clicks with you. That can be elusive. Rather than quizzing your buddies on what you're doing wrong, I suggest you focus on the qualities of your ideal target. Spend some time thinking about the kind of person you'd like in a long-term relationship. Do you want someone you can play online games with? Or are you a gym rat who wants a partner who loves fitness as much as you? Or you're a gardener or foodie enthusiast? Or you've been dreaming of restoring an old house? It looks like to me you know how to meet people, but it is easier to meet the right people if you are focused. You've got some good replies, I think. If there is an issue, it's something your friends would understand better than Reddit. I just wanted to add that dating apps aren't a consolation prize. They are a major way to connect with people, and the people on them are frequently looking for more serious relationships. In general, you meet women the same way you meet anyone: shared interests and location. So what social situations do you put yourself in? What interests you that you can do socially? I think that you may benefit from a more quagmire approach. Be straightforward and ask a ton of women. Once you have one yes, you may learn a lot and become much more adept. Women favor boldness. Make sure to take a risk. Let her have some power in that you may be rejected. If you are rejected, be cool. Don't be dejected. Much love to you, OP. There could be a lot of reasons. You might lack charisma. I know a lot of people who have quite interesting hobbies and aren't bad looking, but they have the charisma of wet cardboard. Off without knowing you. There is no way for anyone here to actually know the reason, cause there is plenty of possibilities. I'm just throwing in one of them. You're probably just missing the quiz. Most of us men are just shitty as picking up on these things. If you're also a little shy and/or minimally respectful, that would impact your success in social setting as well. I'd assume this is probably likely, as you have no problem with securing female friends. It goes against how we are told to act around women these days, but sometimes you do have to shoot your shot and make your interest clear. This can obviously done without being a shithead, and if some random takes exception to you hitting on them in a respectful manner, well, that really is their problem. They might be showing interest. They just think that looking at you is equivalent to making the first move. You sound way too careful not to upset anyone. I'm pretty damn sure it's that. How could anybody possibly know? I'd bet good money they have. But you don't see it. Had an very jarring realization when I was 27 about all the times I hung out with my lady friends in the middle of the night, sneaking out while in high school. They always seemed upset after a few hours. What did I do, OMG? You say you've got female friends and you've dated and hooked up in the past plus had success on dating apps. What are you looking for that you are not getting? It's unclear to me what you think women showing interest would look like, if not exactly what you have experienced. Dating online is more comfortable for everyone. It skips the weird part when you don't know if the other person is interested or not. This isn't impossible questions. It's stupid. The question you ask doesn't have an answer. I've noticed I can be a lot more bold over dating apps since there's less repercussions for rejection. In person, I definitely come across more business casual. You could be doing the same thing possibly? Keeping things a little too non-flirty and therefore coming across as unconfident? Who cares where you meet people? Meet people on dating apps and get to know them. I don't get why it matters where you met. Do you think it's possible you are missing clues of interest? I'm a decently attractive woman who hits dry spells that last for years. You can bet I go, what's wrong with me? No one's ever interested. And my friends will be like, did you not see that guy drooling over you? Nope, I did not. I miss every clue. Not to say, so that obnoxious thing where you think every smile is an invite. Here's looking at you guy who followed me around the store last week after I happened to smile when I made eye contact, because it's the friendly thing to do, but maybe there's more to some of those smiles. I have two answers for you. You are probably autistic. Take a preliminary tests. B. I've asked myself the same question many times, and at some point I decided that it would be more productive to directly ask the women whose interest I wanted. These are some of their answers. I give off no sexual energy. Do polite. I seem too focused on sex. I'm too exhausting. Intense. They see me as a child more than a man. They are sure I am gay. I didn't show enough interest. Initiative initially, so they lost interest. Maybe some of that applies to you too. Bear in mind, different women will be interested in different things. The only universal themes I found were that I needed to dare to be sexual, flirt, express interest, attraction, engage with their jokes and innuendo, tease. Definitely make it clear that I want something with them. Propose things that they will reject if they aren't interested. Sadly, in mainstream dating culture, the majority of women expect men to get the ball rolling and are terrible at initiating. But more important than anything else, I am autistic. Knowing that, I know where my blind spots are and am much more effective at achieving what I want in interactions. Depends on your age. Before 30, lots of women are still either idealistic about relationships or still into bad boys. Go for guys that ignores them. They lose interest if it's too easy or a good guy. Interestingly, once you get on the dating scene in your late 30s, early 40s, it gets easier for men and harder for women. Of course, this is all based on things I went through and shared experiences with people I know or have had conversations with, and is in no way a broad statement that applies universally. But there seems to be some trends. In short, you may just be unlucky or what young women look for now. Don't change yourself to please and continue being respectful.